Hello, friends. We got a couple of far-right clips that shows that, yes, they're very, very afraid. So, hey, let's get right into it. Let's take a look at them.
It's wide open. So what does this honeymoon period look like? Well, first of which, Reuters came out with a poll yesterday and shows that Kamala Harris is up 2 points on Donald Trump. You might say, oh, I don't believe that. This is going to be a much closer race than a lot of you are comfortable with. This is going to be a much closer race than you would have imagined with Joe Biden. This is going to come down to 5,000 votes here, 300 votes here, 200 votes here, which goes to show that every single one of you deciding whether to do the work to find new voters or not is going to be more consequential than ever before. And that is why I'm wearing the shirt, Find New Voters. Every day, you go out into the streets, you go to the grocery store, and you find a voter or two. You find two people and you talk to them.
Yep, that's right, folks. Find new voters and you talk to them. But for Democrats. All right, let's get into this. Yes, friends, as we can see, the far right is very, very afraid. So, just be aware, they can see what's coming. They can see this is a close race. It's going to be a close race, unfortunately. Be nice if Kamala could, win in a blowout. But just be aware, they're going to pull out every trick. So, every voter suppression tactic, anything they can, find. Any little trick in the book, any way to suppress the votes. They have so many ways of doing that. Gerrymandering, redistricting, throwing people off the voter rolls. I could go on and on. But, just, be vigilant and be aware.
Soldier was arrested after researchers linked him to a social media account that targeted people who were perceived to be enemies of then candidate Gabrielle Hansen.
And among those people threatened, our very own chief investigative reporter, Phil Williams. Phil, what do you know about this man?
Well, let's start with his name. His name is Kai Liam Nix. He's a 20-year-old soldier at Fort Liberty, what used to be Fort Bragg. But what hate group researchers discovered was that he was leading a double life. Kai Liam Nix, investigators discovered, was part of the Patriot Front, a white supremacist group that created a scene last month with its march through downtown Nashville. And investigators recently discovered that when Gabrielle Hansen showed up at a candidates forum last fall in the company of neo-Nazis, Nix was providing support on the right-wing social media app called Telegram.
Well, Kai Liam Nix, we found operating a Telegram channel called Appalachian Archives, which was later rebranded to American Archives. And it's a Telegram channel that was rife with neo-Nazi content.
Jeff Tischhauser, senior researcher with the Southern Poverty Law Center, identified Nix after months of investigation after getting leaked documents from independent researchers.
But essentially, Kai was working behind the scenes, doxing people, so providing sensitive material about journalists, about activists that were engaged in trying to stop Hansen's campaign.
Among its posts, Appalachian Archives posted a photo of the home of a Franklin attorney who had criticized the hate groups, as well as info about the operator of the progressive Tennessee Holler news site and photos from a neo-Nazi protest outside the home of a journalist from a national website who had covered the Hansen campaign. The protesters held up a sign declaring freedom of press is not freedom of consequence.
Bill, this guy was the one targeting you, making the threats, demanding that you post this video.
After one of the neo-Nazis recorded an interview with a member of Hansen's campaign, Appalachian Archives warned me of consequences if I did not comply with their demands to air the video. The post ended, "This is our only warning. Always watching, always listening, always near."
It takes a lot to shock me, particularly, in this world of tracking neo-Nazis. But that's something that was truly shocking to see.
As a result of Tischhauser's investigation, the FBI just arrested Nix for unlawful firearms trafficking, for selling 2 stolen weapons, and lying about his hate group ties on his background check for the U.S. Army.
What was he doing with these weapons? Who was he giving them to? We are safer now that Kai is facing this accountability. And I'm excited to see how this plays out in court.
And tonight, the U.S. Army says Nix has now been kicked out of the service following his arrest. As for that social media account, Jeff Tischhauser said it also posted what were essentially how-to guides for waging war against the United States while he's serving the United States.
That's very scary. So had you heard of this man before all of this?
Only in the sense that Jeff Tischhauser had recently briefed me on his findings, and we're also going to link to Jeff's investigation on our website.
I know you're going to follow up.
Folks, domestic terrorism, unfortunately, is real. And it's rampant on the right. There's no domestic terrorists, neo-Nazis, white supremacists voting for Democrats. So don't fall for that. Don't fall for that old Dixiecrats thing. Yeah, back in the 50s, 40s, and way back then, maybe some in the 60s. Yeah, Democrats were the Dixiecrats. That was a long time ago. Anyone with any ounce of sense knows these parties are the total opposites from what they used to be. Yeah, all those Southern conservatives that were Dixiecrats and Democrats, all those Southern conservatives now are Republicans. So don't fall for that trick. And, like I said before, keep your head on the swivel. These are domestic terrorists. It's a real thing. So just be aware out there.